and a beautiful day in Hanmer as we head off to Greymouth. We had a great night in the luxurious Heritage Hotel last evening. And Pete, what's in front of us today?
Well, Dave, we've got 220 odd K, 2 KOMs, Lewis Pass and Rahu Saddle, as well as 2 sprints with the Engineers and the Ahura Sprint.
Fantastic.
See you at the top. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Morning. Morning.
Oh, Jane! Jesus, where were you? Yeah, I made it. No.
Take it in. Hill number 1.
Today's the biggest day of the tour. The riders will be leaving Hanmer Springs and heading right through to Greymouth on the west coast. It's a 200 kilometre plus stage and is the toughest of the tour. While today is for the climbers, there is 2 sprints. There's one at the Engineers camp and then one again at Ahura for the stage finish. There are 3 stages today. Stage 1 is Hanmer right through to Springs Junction, and at Springs Junction there'll be a short stop. Springs Junction comes after the climb of Lewis Pass, which is probably the longest climb of the tour. On the Lewis Spa stage, because the riders left at different times, D started first. The bunches got split up. There we have Rob Loveridge winning the sprint for B grade.
B grade, interestingly, broke up into 2 groups with the B racers, which Rob Loveridge was dominating, and then the B friendlies, who stayed together and very much enjoyed the ride.
And we're friendly. Here they come now. This is B friendly.
Not quite the same tempo in that bunch, but a lot more waving.
Enjoying the countryside. Here we have Scott Molina. Takes out the sprint at the engineers camp. Now, rumour has it that Scott put his earphones in at Hanmer Springs and took off. There was supposed to be a neutral stage from Hanmer Springs up to the turn off at the main road over the Hanmer Bridge, but Scott just went right from the word go.
Going back to Scott, tell me what happened there, because I was unaware of what the hubba bubba was.
Well, I was leaving Hanmer Springs, and I believe Scott I put him in the ears and biking along, probably the Santana in there, I'd say. So neutral stage for the first 15, 19k. So as they were rolling out of Hanmer in the first k, I think by about k and a half, past that Shell garage, Scott had about 500 metres on the bunch. And so he just kept rolling off the front. He really put the pressure on. It looked like he was doing an Ironman time trial. And by the time he went through engineers camp, he had 2 minutes on the bunch. But the boys all rallied, and Scott's legs finally took the toll of the effort he was putting in, and they caught him just before the summit.
And was he aware that there was a neutral stage, or was Santana in his head and he was gone?
Well, I believe they were yelling and he couldn't hear because the music was playing.
Oh, that's probably fair enough. No, it's understandable. I've probably done the same thing myself.
Probably, if you could. Which is unlikely. Okay, Lewis Pass. James GIBSON took that out with Scott Molina and Neil Averis coming over second and third.
Yes, he did.
So,
they did.
And then we moved on to Rahu Saddle Day.
Yes, it was. Well, actually, Springs Junction was a fantastic regroup, and everyone got their gear sorted out, and away it went. A grade was first, followed by D grade, and it was, from what I understand, it was carnage at the top.
Well, it was carnage all up the hill. It's quite a steep climb at the start, and then it flattens off for a long way. It's sort of a false flat at the summit.
Yeah.
And again, James GIBSON was the man. Took it out and really sealed his KOM title, I think, at that stage of the tour, even though obviously he didn't feel that. From then on, it was that fabulous ride down through the beech forest all the way to Reefton for lunch.
Which again was a great little stop. We had fantastic space there, and the food obviously was always good.
The Five Passes tour waits for no man, even if it is the legend Steve Gurney.
Would have down with the showers, wouldn't you? Pardon? Would have down with the showers, wouldn't you? Yeah, I was just filling my drink bottles. Yeah. Not much for a snitch party. Come over a bit further if you like.
The bunch left without Steve. Steve suddenly appeared at our window, and this is what he had to say about the
Take the
matter.
right past the road. Carry on by. I can't hear, sorry. We'll just carry on right by, shall we? Take the right past. I like
Give
that
away,
idea.
by the way.
We just got to give a tour of wherever it is we're going. How about Greymouth? Can we go to Greymouth like that?
You're regrouping at the tour, I think. Yeah.
I'd like to go to Greymouth like this, thanks.
Right, Greymouth it is.
Oh yeah, mate, that was good.
Unfortunately, we had a little turn in weather, didn't we? To turn to custard, so to speak.
That wasn't the dessert for lunch.
No, it wasn't.
That
No,
was the weather for the
it just
afternoon.
rained on our parade. But we just carried on. We took the sunshine with us anyway.
Well, you did in your car.
No,
I know you were on the bike.
I was
that's
on the
right.
bike. Yeah, I was still riding then.
Which is
Exactly.
unusual for you because normally you're in the van. But I did notice at a
I think
Hera.
this is about other people than me, Pete. So can we just move on?
Okay. I did notice in a Hera that you warmed the seat rather
I
well.
did. Yes, I did. Now, from Ahura, we had heaps and heaps of rain.
But good thing was it was a tailwind.
Exactly.
And I think that's what kept the riders happy and
Yep.
kept them warm.
Yeah. And I think the best thing we did was make a few changes and make sure they slowed down coming into Greymouth. And we sort of gave those directions to make sure we had no major issues. And especially over the railway lines, which were proving somewhat hazardous to some riders, even to the point where some were walking across but they were so slippery because they were covered in diesel from what I understand later on, and it made it a real hazard. However, we got through and we had a great night in Greymouth.
The weather at the stage finish into Greymouth was absolute. As you can see, the riders came screaming down the street with a howling tailwind. Ricky Simonson took the win, followed closely by Andrew Lawrence and Dave Lawson, and can't quite tell who the third or fourth rider was in. There was a few slips on the railway lines which were quite slippery. Steve Prescott had a bit of a nasty prang. It was decided after Steve Prescott's fall on the railway lines that the riders would be stopped from racing over the railway lines. Marshals were sent down to stop the riders and slow them down, and even get off their bikes and walk across the railway tracks. It was that dangerous. James Gibson added to his King of the Mountains lead by taking both Lewis Pass and the Rahu Saddle climbs. The open stage finished at Reefton, and Dave Lawson took stage honours with a breakaway with Ricky Simonson. As we were leaving Reefton, the rain started falling. It made for some cold and tired bodies into Greymouth. Ricky Simonson took the stage victory into Greymouth. Steve Gurney remains in yellow. Robert Loveridge leads the male B grade. PERNILLE Fletcher the female B grade. Michael Lynch leads the male C grade, with Sharon Brophy the female C grade, and Murray Hogan and Catherine Heatley lead D grade.